Alrighty guys, so we're going to do 3 exercises and look at the technique of these 3 exercises that will hopefully help you out in the long run. These exercises are going to be a log row, it's going to be a sit to stand, and also going to be a step up. So for the log row, we're just going to have the patient here, John, so helping me out today. I'm going to have him lie down. And so what patients usually do when they have, this is basically for patients that have low back pain. So what patients, why they have low back pain is because of bad form. And what they usually do is come up with low back pain. This is how they usually come up. This kind of strains the back. So we don't want them to do that anymore for the meanwhile, because that's just going to keep hurting the low back, the lumbar section of their back. So I'm going to have him come back down. So we're going to have him do the log row. With the log row, I'm going to have him roll to his side. I'm going to make sure he has his knees slightly bent. And then when he's coming up, I'm going to have him push with the opposite arm, which is the free arm. I'm going to have, so go ahead and push up. And while at the same time I have these legs go down and use that momentum of the legs coming down and going up, help him come all the way up. And that's log row. This will prevent constant strain on the low section of his back and will hopefully help you in the long run. Alright guys, now we're also going to do the sit to stand. So for the sit to stand, it's basic proper biomechanics. It's just to help the patient properly come from a sitting position up, and it'll help also. Can also be used as an exercise to help strengthen the quads and the glutes. If the patient is very incapable of doing a simple squat, a sit to stand is an exercise that can benefit a patient in the long run for their regular day activities, because everybody, us humans, we do a sit to stand to get up from his chair and go on with their lives. Have John demonstrate 2 ways that patients usually do it the wrong way, which makes it harder for them to do a sit to stand. One of them is when they kind of start with their body leaning back and then try doing a sit to stand, which makes it harder for them. Now we're going to do the other mistake that patients usually do, which is when they try doing the sit to stand, they usually tend to put their hands on their knees, and when they're coming up, they're basically applying a lot of pressure on their quads, which then makes it also harder for them and can lose their balance. Alrighty? So for a proper sit to stand, we're going to have him make sure that his legs are bent at 90 degrees, and we're going to have him also at the same time lean a little bit forward and make sure that he's contracting the quadriceps and the hamstrings as he's coming up. Body lean forward a little bit, just push up, make sure he squeezes those glutes all the way up while coming up, and then there you go. For an exercise, this can be used about 3 sets of 10 reps, depending also on how severe or how weak the patient is. It can possibly just be 3 sets of 5 reps. So I'm gonna have John go ahead and do it. So bent knees, bent 90 degrees. I'm gonna have him scoot a little bit, bend his ball a little bit forward, and then go ahead and contract the quads, and then push up, squeeze those glutes, and there you go. That's a proper sit to stand. Now we're gonna have him do a step up. For the step up, they can just be, this is also another exercise that can work your quadriceps, as well as your hamstrings and your glutes and your calves. For this one, we're just gonna do basic, just go ahead and put 1 foot here and then just push, contract this leg and come up. At the same time as we're doing this, we also kind of want to contract the calf of your opposite leg. So if you're gonna go ahead and start with your left leg, start here, have the leg bent 90 degrees, go ahead and push up, and there we go. So I'm gonna have patient John go ahead and try it out. So I'm gonna have him knee bent 90 degrees, and when he comes up, I want him to focus on contracting this quad, and at the same time slightly contract the calf on the opposite leg and come up. Now sometimes the patient, I'm gonna have him come down. Sometimes the patient may not have good balance, so depending on how bad the balance is, what you can do is just hold his hands on forward, and then as the base of support, then he can go ahead and try it out. Alrighty? And then as time progresses, slowly eliminate that base of support, so he can also work on his balance. And that's it.